Is it even worth going to a networking event? I'm a recruiter and career coach, and honestly, there's really only two types of networking events that are actually worth it. The rest are a total waste of time. The first is any event that's put on by a major corporation. The second is an event organized by a professional association for a specific job. And in this video, I'll explain why and how to get the most out of these networking events. Make sure to click subscribe for weekly career tips, and if you have, make sure you share this video with a friend who would find it helpful. All events that are organized and sponsored by large corporations are really secret career fairs. They're going to have recruiters and executives there whose sole job is to identify top talent in the market and try to convince them to apply for jobs at their companies. This is why it's a really good use of your time, because you're going to get to meet key decision makers as well as super connectors so you can build your network at these great companies. Now, these same reasons also apply to job-specific networking events. These events are great because you know that every single person you meet can actually help you get a job eventually. You won't be wasting your time talking to Sally from accounting when you work in sales. Also, one secret industry tip is that the top corporations usually have partnerships with the biggest professional organizations in each field, and they're going to always be asking them for the attendee list of any type of networking event that they put on, because they're going to start to reach out to the people who have gone to these events via email. And that's why, in my opinion, all of the other random, small social events and mixers are not really worth your time. Even most of your college alumni events are not an efficient use of your time unless they are job specific. Okay, so now you know which networking events are actually worth your time, but what do you do when you're at the event? Most people think you need to go around and talk to as many people as possible, treating it basically like speed dating. Not only is this wrong, but it would be a total waste of your time. If you're just going around talking to 30 different people in 2 hours, you're not going to be able to build any meaningful connections, which means they won't be willing to go out of their way to help you, and they can't even vouch for you and talk about how great you are because you didn't get to know them. So let's say a networking event is 2 hours. In that time frame, I only want you to talk to 3 or 4 people. That's it. But who should you try to talk to? Well, the more senior they are, the better, or the more well-connected they are, the better. So someone like the keynote speaker or a recruiter would be great. Now, here's a networking tip. If your event has some type of panel where there's a bunch of different speakers, everyone at the event is going to want to try to talk to those speakers, and it's going to be nearly impossible to get face-to-face time with them. And if you do, it's going to be a very short interaction because there's a long line. So what I recommend is you actually try to talk to the moderator, or maybe even the organizer of the event. Those folks are going to be equally well connected, and they won't have a long line of people waiting to talk to them. Okay, but what do you talk about when you're with these people? Everyone else there is going to be networking and basically trying to brag about themselves and ask these people to do something for them and ask them for a job, but not you. Your goal at these networking events is to become friends with these 3 to 4 people, and that means not talking about work unless they bring it up. That's right, I'm asking you to go to a networking event but not ask people for a job. Weird, I know. Now, because it's a networking event, that person's probably going to ask you, so, what do you do for work? You're going to want to have something prepared that is short, sounds natural, is impressive, but also makes them want to ask more follow-up questions. Don't be too formal and awkward, like, what do I do? I'm the director of social media enablement for a Series C startup focused on data hybridization for cloud platforms using ML engines. Nobody talks like that in real life, and you just sound like a douche. So instead, say something like, what do I do? I'm the director of brand and marketing for a startup, and in the last 2 years, we were actually able to successfully enter brand new markets internationally, which helped us get Series C funding. I'm really proud of my team and all the work that we've done. Oh, and here's another networking tip while you are at the event. If you're there and you see someone who's alone and by themselves looking a little awkward, walk up and introduce yourself. They're going to be so grateful that you broke the ice and made them feel comfortable at the event. You're definitely going to be memorable, and they have no problems going out of their way to help you later. And while you're at the event, if you're ever able to make a really strong connection with someone there, don't be afraid to ask them to introduce you to the other friends that they came with, so that way you can automatically increase your networking circle. So now you know which networking events are actually worth your time and how to actually use them to get more job opportunities. And if you want more networking tips, I've got a whole playlist right up on the screen here. Thank you all for watching, and don't be afraid to shake things up.